Okay, so I'm Gracie's mother. On April 20th, I got a phone call that she was in an ATV accident in front of my house. She was on the side-by-side, a Polaris Ranger. It's a 3-seater with seat belts and roll bars. And she had flipped it in front of my house. And I got the phone call about 5:30. And she had been injured, and I was at work. And I told them to bring her to Navicent since I worked there. And they did. When she got there, they wouldn't let me see her. So I knew, working there, they wouldn't let me see her, that it must be pretty bad. And they brought her straight into the emergency room and started working on her. It was worse, way worse than what I thought. When she flipped this ATV, she wasn't wearing a helmet, she wasn't buckled. So not only did it eject her, she got stuck underneath the roll bars, and it drug her down the pavement with it. So she suffered life-threatening injuries. We thought we were going to lose her. They life flew her to Atlanta. They put her in ICU for a day, and then her recovery started. And God's been with us, and she's made a great recovery. But I encourage everybody to pay attention, wear helmets. It's not safe. It's not safe at all. We went through 10 days at the hospital in Atlanta. It was rough. She broke her right ankle, left ankle, has a hole in her right knee. She broke her right collarbone. She suffers from a brain injury. She broke all the bones on the left side of her face. She cracked her skull in the back. She had 3 brain bleeds. It was a rough day. So I encourage everybody to wear a helmet, be safe, use precaution.
I'm Gracie, and I was in an ATV accident on April 20th. It's very scary now that I've had my accident, but I've broke many bones, and I was supposed to be in ICU for a week. I ended up being in there for a day with all the prayers and with God being with me. And my friend and my sister was on there with me. They had their seatbelts on. I didn't have mine on. Neither did any of us have a helmet on. It went to flip on their side. I jerked it back to my side, and I went under it, drugged me, and then rolled on top of me. Then my friend got out. This truck passed, and she stood in the middle of the road until he stopped, and it was an off-duty fireman. He stopped for me, he helped me, but not long before that, she drugged like my legs out of the road. I was in part of the road, and she stood there and waited for him to stop. And then he stopped. They finally found my friend's phone. They called my dad, and then they came, and then while the fireman was calling the ambulances, they all got there. And then I went to Navicent. After Navicent, I got flew to Atlanta, to Eggleston. I was in there for about a week, and then I went to Scottage Rite. I did more of my therapy at Scottage Rite, and the first day I got there, I wasn't able to move anything really. And they went to do my evaluations for it, and that day I started to be able to pick my leg up on my own, be able to get to my wheelchair easier. Always wear a seatbelt and a helmet, don't matter what you're on, any side-by-side, four-wheeler, any type of ATV, wear a helmet, a seatbelt, and be cautious of what you're doing or what's in front of you or behind you, and pay attention to the road and where you're going.